So satisfying. Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video. Today is an exciting video because I am actually showing you guys one of 3 lots I have built for the brand new Sims 4 expansion pack, The Sims 4 Snowy Escape. And yeah, it's a really big deal because I've been asked to build a holiday rental home to ship with the game. So basically, if you download this new expansion pack, you will see my build in your game. So it's hugely exciting, and I'm really excited to show you guys behind the scenes of the build and the restrictions we had to build this for the game. So let's jump into it. So to begin with, I was told I was going to be building a rental home on the Snowy Mountain world, and it would be in an area where there was also some modern houses. And that's all I knew to begin with. When we got the map, it was basically kind of a blank patchy world map. We really couldn't see much around our lots. So I decided to draw on a piece of paper this, which was a basic house plan, and the idea was all the rooms would surround a courtyard. Let's jump into the build, and this is probably going to seem a little bit choppy to you guys because when I first started, we didn't have the wallpapers or the flooring that was coming with the pack. We only had a few items like buy items and build items. So to begin with, I only had base game to work with. And the other thing to keep in mind with this build is that we were given the new build tool of stages, or like split leveling, to utilize. So for this build, I was really excited to use that. And out of my 3 builds that I have made for this pack, the split leveling and stages were probably my favorite part. So that's what we're gonna start doing. And I think we didn't have the working stage tool at this point when I first started, but I knew it was coming. So what I actually did was like mark out where I wanted the levels to split in the home with just like some little fencing or something like that. And then we did have these counters. As you can see, the counters didn't have an icon yet. But I could change the swatches, so I was able to see a couple of different swatches. And I knew for this house that I wanted to have a mix of traditional exterior merged with a modern exterior, and then make sure the interior was all modern. So we're also going to see that come together because there is a whole traditional part of the map where it's a much more traditional looking town inspired by Japanese architecture, and I kind of thought, you know what, if there's one part of this world that can have a bit of modern, it may as well be in one of my houses. So I definitely enjoyed that. And at this point, sinks weren't really working either. It wasn't until the very end that the sinks didn't have the white crossing through them, or basically they have a proper dip in them towards the end. So I don't even know in the footage if we'll see a complete sink, but we'll do a walkthrough of the house at the end so you guys can see the finished product. Now, the other massive thing that I learned while building this is that when you are building a house to ship with the game, it's very different to building a house just for fun once you have the game. When a house ships with the game, you have to put less in it. You can't fill it all up with clutter because it needs to run on as many players' computers as possible. So even someone on a lower end computer, we want them to be able to load this house up and for their computer to run it. So therefore you have to keep the houses a little bit more simple, a little bit more sparse. One of the things that we were told that we shouldn't do, for example, is have mirrors on opposite walls that would kind of keep reflecting through each other because that uses up a lot of your computer's memory. And not having too many wallpapers. So we knew that with these builds, we couldn't fill them with a lot of clutter. They needed to be a little bit more sparse in terms of their furnishing, and we couldn't use certain build cheats. Like we couldn't lift, I don't think we could lift objects up or down. We could use a little bit of the move objects cheat, like things could intersect, but they had to be like on the same plane of intersection. And even still, when some things were used using that cheat, we were told there would be some objects that disappeared when you loaded up the lot. So we'll actually see that in one of my other builds, which I'll definitely upload to the channel, which was a park I did. I had a lot of the move objects on cheat to layer lots of trees and bushes and flora, and just the way the game runs, loading it into new computers and new devices, it would delete some of them. So it ended up being a little bit more sparse than I had originally created it, but I think it still works in the end. So I will be uploading my other 2 lots as well. I did 3 lots in total. I'll also, you guys can check out a whole overview of touring all 3 at once. I kind of show them off, but if you want to see more and you want to see how they've been built, any tea behind the scenes, you can watch those as well. So just jumping forwards a little bit, I also, because I was using a version of the game that was an early version, a beta version, you can see that my name is kind of flickering around the screen. And this is at twice the speed I was building right now. And if I sped it up any more than that, that name would get really annoying, flicking like everywhere. So for that reason, I've also had to chop off a lot of this video to keep it a good length. So yeah, it might seem a bit jumpy as we go along, but that's also because bit by bit new things were available to me as well. But this is basically almost the shape we went with in the end. So I liked the idea of having the peaked roof on the right-hand side of the house to be a little bit more traditional. At this stage, we had no new wallpapers, so the wallpapers are going to change, no new trees. And so I started the interior. I decided we'll go back to the wallpapers in the exterior at a later date when we had access to those. So now this is just the kitchen we're making. And I think those windows currently are base game windows, but we do get a new square window in this pack too. So I think I'm gonna replace those windows shortly. Also the ones at the front we're going to replace with new windows as well. So basically we're just building in a way that is a little bit blind at the moment because we don't exactly know what we can work with, but we do have a lot of the objects thankfully to begin with, like those dining table, new chairs. We have a bathroom here. Now, originally, there were a few changes as well because, of course, EA will have, or The Sims, sorry, will have requests with whether or not a build is working for the game shipment. And because this pack is Japanese inspired in this world, they wanted to also be culturally appropriate and not offensive in any way to Japanese culture. So we had to make a few changes to fit in with that. And originally in my master bedroom, you just saw before, I had the bathtub in the bedroom as a part of it because I thought for a vacation home that would be kind of nice because a lot of vacation homes you kind of have the bathtub in the bedroom. And then we had this like window looking into the showers. So it was really, really nice, I thought. But in the end, they actually said, look, that's probably not quite right for this kind of home. So could you maybe move the bathtub into a separate room because it's a little bit more private? And then also the other thing we were told was that toilets are often separate to the bathroom. So the toilet needed to be in a separate room as well. So for the master bathroom, we are going to change the floor plan a fair bit and add in an extra split level and take the bathtub out of the main bathroom. So if your Sims were hoping to come to this rental, but they were a little bit worried about bathing in the master bedroom, don't worry. I got you covered. It's gonna be renovated shortly. But it's actually really fun, like looking back and seeing what I originally was doing. And the other thing is the central courtyard right now is all base game, like the flooring. I think I put sand terrain that we have in the base game in the central courtyard as well. And I think at this point I knew we were going to get some floor tiles that were nice, like raked sand patterns. So I think I used the terrain tool until our games were updated in order to put that floor tile in. So I kind of had an idea of a few of the items that would be put in, but I didn't exactly know what they would look like. And I have to say I love the artwork in this pack. I love the beds are so nice. And because the Japanese aesthetic can be quite minimal, this was kind of perfect to be restricted in the builds with, because say if we were making like cramped cottages with lots of like weird little knickknacks, like a witch's house or something for a supernatural pack, it would have been really hard not to overuse objects, whereas this, it wasn't as difficult because it's meant to look pretty clean and sparse because it is Japanese inspired. So that was good. And then I think this was a little further along. We got given this outdoor fireplace. There's 2 fireplaces that we've been given. So I was really excited to see that. And I definitely wanted to utilize it outside and have a nice outdoor area, because if you're on vacation, you're gonna wanna sit outside and relax, I think, especially if you're in some beautiful mountainous region. So right now, we're just making a little outdoor area. I also love all of the fur looking, I'm gonna say they're faux fur looking items, like rugs that kind of go over tables and chairs. I really like that. And then that cluster of plants in the corner is really nice too. And I've also created a little plunge pool over here, which is good too. And the other thing we had was no other swatches for the split leveling. So you'll notice early on in the builds, any split levels will have like a white wall coloring on them. And that's because there weren't any in the game at this point. Again, we don't have any new wallpapers. I think I ended up using base game wallpapers in this anyway. And of course, all of this is only going to be base game and the new expansion pack, because it's shipping with the game and people aren't going to have all the packs, so, or necessarily any other packs. So that's keeping it pretty simple. And then I thought this room would be really cute with a more of a blush and light green color scheme, maybe some purple on the beds. I was kind of experimenting with that idea. Pardon me. I've got a lot of hay fever at the moment and I keep coughing in videos. I love these single beds too. They're really simple and they have some really nice bedspreads. And this room I spent so long on. I went through so many different color schemes, and I think there was something about the pastels that felt like it was more Japanese inspired. I can't really explain why, but I guess maybe that girly anime kind of aesthetic I was working with. I don't know, a little bit more cutesy, whereas the rest of the house, I really wanted to strip it back and have very earthy colors, clean timbers. So we use a lot of this brown color, and I actually really, really like it. So I hope you guys like it too. Now, one other change that was made in this lounge room is that I knew we would have tatami mats at some stage. And I didn't understand how tatami mats were used, you know, in the Japanese culture. So I went ahead and I ended up putting a tatami mat underneath the entire lounge room area. And then the Sims were basically like, oh, that isn't really right. Like, that's not really where tatami mats would go. So at the moment, I'm just leaving it blank because I knew the tatami mat was coming. And I was like, oh, I can put it in the lounge room. But then they said, oh, these are the new windows, the square windows, which I'm so excited to have. Yeah, they were like, we're gonna put a different rug in there, because it was at the point where it was too late for me to change it. So they changed it for me and they put a big rug in the lounge room. So the rug placement wasn't actually me in the end, but they showed me and they're like, is this okay? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. So little things like that needed to be tweaked. And this is the point where we had the new wallpapers. So you can see here I've applied a new modern tile that we've got in the pack. We've got the new windows, we've got the bamboo fencing now, which is really exciting. I don't know what floor. Oh yeah, the raked sand floor tiles right here I'm applying as well. So I'm like creating nice circles around the little candle sculpture there. New fencing, putting that in. There was a little bit of difficulty for some reason with the fencing on this lot. I think it's because I built it so close to the sides. Some of the walls around the sitting area and the plunge pool area were disappearing when the Sims loaded it up into their games. And so in the end, again, it was too late for me to personally make the changes, but The Sims had to fix some of the walls for me, which I will also show you in a little while when we actually tour the build. And I also loved using these pebbles around the plunge pool from, I think, base game to begin with. I'm not sure if I end up leaving them that way. Oh, and there were other small changes as well, like I put the light table on light flooring, I think, or maybe I ended up doing like a dark table on dark flooring outside, and I was told that maybe players would struggle to see the table, so for the purpose of vision, like we would need to have a more contrasting color of table. So little things like that I would never think of when I just do builds for fun. The Sims kind of helped lead us in the right direction. So yeah, that's been lots of fun. And you can put stairs across these split levels, just like I have. Or if they're a lower height, then you don't. If they're a lower height, the Sims can just step onto them themselves if they're just one step width. So that's handy. So this is, just finalizing the kitchen area. Again, we have the more traditional looking windows that I can use now in the game. We've been able to upgrade from the base game windows and change them up a bit. We've got some new curtains, which I'm putting in here, new mats. We also had this little cooking, I don't even know what that is, but it's like it almost looks like a fondue bowl. So I haven't played any of this either. I'm yet to enjoy the gameplay of the game. I've only been building because the gameplay wasn't finalized when we were doing this either. And then we got these cute little poofs with little characters on them, and I was like, oh my god, this is so perfect for this little room, the twin bedroom room. So I got to add those in at this later stage too. So you can kind of see bit by bit all of these assets being added to the game, and I got so excited because I could add them in and change it up a bit. So I think I came back to this like so many times. I probably came back to this 6 or 7 times, maybe more, to refine it and add new things in. And I knew that at some stage we would be getting some new rocks or rock sculptures. So I kind of knew, okay, I want to put them here, but I had no idea how big they were going to be. Like, I didn't even know if the rock sculptures would fit. And then these floor tiles were glitching out a little bit earlier on. So I was struggling a little bit with that. We had these stone lights added, which I think are so pretty and organic looking. There's some really nice build and buy items in this actually. And there's also a new chair over there. We do also have new wall lights, but for the exterior of the house, I decided not to use them. There's also, you kind of want to have a nice balance between base game items and new items, because you don't really want to deck the build out and all the new stuff, because then it's like, there's no surprises anywhere else. Do you get what I mean? Like, it's nice to change it, like to make a nice balance of base game and the new pack. So yeah, that's pretty much what I was trying to do. And then we got the doors, so I was seeing if any of the other doors would suit the house, and in the end, I don't actually think I end up using any of the new doors. I think I just used the base game one. And I actually had Eco Lifestyle installed in this early access, which was really funny because I kept going to use Eco Lifestyle items and I was like, wait, no, I can't use that. I can only use base game or the new pack. And oh my gosh, I almost forgot to tell you guys, we got the lots confused. So where I'm building right now is actually the incorrect lot. And I was like, no, and they told me that I'd been building on the wrong lot. Because I was like, wow, this is such a facade, having this, rock sculpture in front of the house, and it's so grand. And they're like, no, that's actually where the bar's meant to go. Which I think James was building the bar that was meant to go there. So we ended up switching lots. So you might actually notice that this wasn't originally, you might realize that this house could have been built slightly different on the other lot because it doesn't properly match the driveway it's on, and that's why. But that can be our little secret, so just don't tell anyone and it doesn't matter. And now this is the part that I was telling you about how I needed, or I was asked to make the toilet separate. So I've moved the toilet to the side, and we need to move the bathtub as well, because the bathtub they didn't think was appropriate in the master bedroom. So we're going to shift the bathtub into a nice little kind of nook in the bathroom. It's going to be expanded soon. And I'm actually really glad that you guys get to see this, because I think it's interesting. I find it interesting watching it back, seeing like how I figured out to make it work. And I decided that when I moved the bathtub, there was so much room on that platform. So I was like, there's a bit too much room there. And I was like, I could put an easel there, but it just kind of will look a bit weird. So in the end, I decided to expand the bathroom, make it like an upside down L shape, and create this new nook for the bathtub that would be like a very peaceful, structured corner of the bathroom. It's kind of hidden away, so maybe if you have kids staying with you, you can kind of get away from the kids and have more privacy, being tucked away, and almost make it feel like a little day spa area, like your own mini day spa. So you can see here, I've kind of wrapped it around the side, expanding the area. And I love the brown fur rug. I hope you guys like the colors I picked in this too, because they are very modern and very minimal and earthy, which I feel like a lot of people aren't into. I heard plays on like, ew, this is so gross, but I personally really liked it, so hopefully you guys do as well. And I liked that there's like a shower there, so you could shower after your bubble bath. You know, when you go rinse off the bubbles from the bubble bath, you could, you know, get up and do that. It's got that sauna kind of wood paneling wallpaper vibe, pardon me. And you've got the separate toilet on the other side. You've got the sinks in the middle. I think it worked out quite well. In fact, I'm pretty sure the bathtub's going to be shifted over to the left and flipped in a second, because there's still a lot of space that can be utilized. Yeah, we're gonna open it up again, I'm pretty sure. Because I was like, what am I gonna put there? It's just kind of like, what? Space that is doing nothing. Oh, we open up the bedroom? That's what we did. Is that what we did? Really interesting. Well, we will see what it looks like in just a second when we completely tour the house, and I'll tell you all of these little changes that I've been talking about that might have not made sense while we were watching it sped up, but I think you guys will like it. And then this room, it just meant that there was more space in it, because we did bring in that bathtub a little bit, and there's a nice little desk area, so you could go there and do a little bit of desk writing. I think we're gonna also add a screen in, like a beautiful Japanese artwork inspired screen that looks really nice. We've got this little wardrobe nook after you go up the stage. Oh, I'm so excited to have split leveling in this home. You have no idea. Well, I mean, you guys probably do have a good idea, because you're probably wanting split leveling as well. And the thing was, we'd been working on this for so long that I knew split leveling was coming, but I couldn't tell you guys. And I was like, oh, it's so difficult when you can't tell them what's happening. It must be so frustrating being an actual like guru, because I know everything that's coming to the game, and they're probably like, I really want to tell them, but we can't. Okay, so here is the rental home. I hope you guys like it, and I hope you enjoy taking your Sims here if you decide to get the pack. But this is it. Yay! Oh my gosh, this is so surreal that you guys are gonna, you know, actually see this if you choose to get the game. That's just crazy to me. But like I said, I wanted to have like a traditional aspect. So we've got the traditional peaked roof with the more traditional looking windows, and I've got like this modern tiling on the exterior. New little letterbox, which I thought was really cute. I so wanted the driveway to link up to the front door with tiling, but it ended up being a dirt road. And then if we walk into the house, we can see our little central garden there. We've got our stage, which is beautiful. And if you watched my overview video, you've already gotten the tour, but I'll show you again anyway. So this is the beautiful glass roofed dining area. How cute are these items? Then we've got the new lights there. We've got the new kitchen here. We've got a few bowls under there. Light on the wall, stove. Very nice. Got a little window looking into this area out there with the new rock sculptures. We'll go out there in just a second. This is the lounge room, which I really liked. This is the rug that I didn't actually place because I put a tatami mat in here and they're like, girl, no, you can't do that with a tatami mat. So they put the rug in, but I think the rug goes with the room. So that's nice. Lovely bookshelf here with these candles. Love those candles. And then this is our plunge pool area. We've got a beautiful outdoor fireplace. I love that. I love these throws on the outdoor table. I think that's so beautiful. The little bonsai tree. We go to the sliding door here. The courtyard can be accessed from the living area or the master suite. So this is the rock sculpture I knew was coming, and I was very pleased to see that it fit perfectly in our garden when it came into the game, or when it was added to the game. If we go through here, I think this is the bathroom. Okay, so this is the main bathroom in here. And the toilet is in the main bathroom with the bathtub, but they didn't mind that so much. I think it was more the master bedroom. They thought it would be better separate. This is the little twin bedroom. Again, very simple. We couldn't add too much to the rooms. We didn't want to use too much of the move objects cheat either. But I think it looks really sweet. And for a vacation home, it makes sense. It's not super duper cluttered because like you want whoever to stay here to be comfortable and feel like there's room for their things. Here's the screen I added. I also really like the fact that black flooring was added. I thought that was nice. Beautiful tapestry on the wall here. I thought that was cool. Again, very minimal, but I think that goes with this Japanese theme. There's a bookshelf, nice little study nook there under a window. And then this is just a dress area. You can put objects on top of it. I thought that was really, really nice. And then in here's the bathroom that got renovated a few times. And I love that the sinks are also that more bronzy color because they tie in with these walls so nicely. I just love the colors in this. The new toilet, very exciting. I'm not sure if you can talk to that toilet. I believe you might be able to. And then this is our little spa shower nook, wet room maybe. So we've got the shower there, little stool and thing that you pour over yourself, I think, in real life. And then here's where we ended up putting this little bathtub, and there's a little poof there. And I really, really hope you guys enjoy staying here. I really hope you do. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think of this build. Let me know if you're going to vacation here. Let me know. And yeah, it's been awesome. Thanks, Sims, for including me. Oh, I almost forgot to tell. You can tell I'm excited. I almost forgot to tell you what happened with the walls here. Originally, these columns were disappearing. So the Sims actually had to add, I think, this middle column, this column, and they also did the 2 columns at the end here, which I really like, because mine kept disappearing, and even these walls were disappearing for me. So they actually had to add this wall in, and this wall in at the end. I probably would have, I think originally I had another wall here, and another wall just coming out here and here. But I think it still looks really good. So that's all good. They did a good job. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you're having a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And I look forward to speaking to you soon. And don't forget to check out the other builds I've done because I can't wait to show them off. So if they're not out already, they'll be out soon. Tack, tack.